I made a lot of strong declarations from the time that I was a child of like, I am not going to be dependent on a man. I am not like, I'm going to learn how to drive. I'm, like all these things that would allow me to be free. So there is that huge drive to basically, without me knowing, like being a cycle breaker.
Yes.
Right. But in that, the forgiveness, in the connecting with my inner child, in the regulating the nervous system, I had been able to then go back to Napa and be taken care of. I was able to channel the part of me that has always loved helping people and being of service and being a really good listener to a career where now I'm not trying to change anyone. Now people are voluntarily coming to me for support. And so whatever you're looking or thinking about doing, I highly recommend get really honest and clear with what would you like to do, what lights you up, or not even that, but like if we're talking about relationships or even like your job, like is this still aligned?
Sabrosura pa' ti que.
Hola, hola. Welcome back to Café con Pam, the bilingual podcast that celebrates the power of stories, the medicine in our voices, and the magic of reclaiming who we are. This week, I'm sitting down with Ana Lilia, a breathwork teacher, intuitive coach, and success activator who's helping women break free from burnout and finally breathe. Now, if you're wondering what breathwork actually is, think of it as an active meditation practice where you use intentional breathing patterns to access and release emotions, trauma, and stress that live in your body. It's not just deep breathing. It's an actual somatic tool that helps regulate your nervous system, process what talk therapy sometimes can't reach, and create spaciousness where there was once tightness and overwhelm. Ana has been doing this work for over 9 years, and she's worked with thousands of clients globally, including corporate teams at places like Facebook, Goop, Hyundai. Her work has been featured on NBC Nightly News, Harper Bazaar, Bravo TV, and she's the host of the Breathe More podcast. What I love about Ana is her journey, and you're going to learn a lot about it throughout this interview, from being a daughter of Mexican immigrant parents, from experiencing firsthand what it's like to exist with high-functioning anxiety, perfectionism, and the constant pressure to prove yourself in so many ways, and how she decided it was time to do what she wanted, because breath work for her changed everything. One session, hands cramping, body shaking, tears pouring, gave her the release and spaciousness she had been searching for. And now she teaches others how to expand their emotional capacity, regulate their nervous system, and manifest aligned success without the burnout. En este episodio, you're going to learn why your breath is the fastest way to regulate your nervous system when you're stuck in overdrive. We're also going to explore what it really means to be the eldest daughter, the one who leaves first, the one who translates, who takes care of everyone, and what the cost is. And we'll dive into how to celebrate yourself out loud when you grew up with Calladita culture and never got the praise or validation you deserved. So, if you've ever felt like you had to perform to prove your worth, struggled with overcommitting to others while abandoning yourself even in a little ways, or wondered how to honor your immigrant parents' dreams while still choosing your own path, este episodio es para ti. Sin más, aquí está mi conversación with the one and only Ana Lilia. Ana, ¿cómo estás? Welcome to Café con Pam.
Muy bien, gracias. Emocionada de estar aquí. So excited.
I know. Finally.
Yes, it's been years in the making.
Why? I was looking, I was like, wait a minute, why did this never happen? But it happened when it was supposed to. Here we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the first question we always ask is, what is your heritage?
Mexicana. So my parents are from a small town and the smallest state in Mexico, Aguascalientes.
Chiquitito.
And chiquitito, o sea, el más chico de todo México. and they immigrated to Napa, California. And so that's where I was born. I'm the
Wine
oldest of
country?
4 daughters. Yeah.
How was it for you to grow in wine country?
I'm so grateful, first of all, that my grandfather landed in Napa. And then my dad is the oldest. So he came to work and then brought my mom. And I realized how lucky I was to grow up in this beautiful small town when I went to school at UC Berkeley. And then I saw like, oh, we could have ended up like in a city like Oakland. Like, not that there's anything wrong, but it's just such a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really grateful. And especially because at the time, like I grew up in the 80s. And so Napa was not what it is today. Very much a rural, a lot of farming, obviously vineyards, but it was very chill and peaceful and beautiful. Really, really happy that I got that space to grow up with and kind of discover like, who am I? What do I want to do?
In a small.
Yeah, just like with the safety of that, not having to worry about other stuff. So, yeah.
Having lived in LA and growing up in a small town, do you think it would have made like a huge difference?
Well, because I went to school at UC Berkeley, I had that kind of like middle-sized city, if you will, to ease into what it's like to not be in that protective bubble of a small town, of having family around. And then the Bay Area felt too small. And I'm like, where am I going to go next?
Wow.
I need a bigger city. And so then I made the decision based on weather. Like, do I want to go through, do I want winters like snow? No. Do I want humidity in Miami? I'm like, I hate that. So I guess LA it is. And that's how, I was there for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
What number are you in siblings?
The oldest, number 1.
Ooh, eldest daughter. Let's go.
That informed a lot of who I am as well.
How was it for you to leave town, to go to school, to leave your casa as an eldest daughter, la responsable, no? Like,
see? The one doing new things. See. No, I could not wait to get out of my house. Like I was like, get me out of here. But it was really interesting because my parents did not want me to leave. Like tradicional mexicanos, o sea, la mujer no se va hasta que se case, right? You're not going to leave until you get married. And so they did not understand like, wait, our daughter's literally going to go to a place, even though, I mean, Berkeley's like an hour away from Napa, right? But it's like, she's going to live on her own. And so I applied to like 5 U cities and I got accepted to all of them. And it made me sad that like my parents couldn't celebrate that and like recognize what a big deal that was to be first gen, not have anyone really mirroring like what that process is like literally learning everything kind of on my own. Cause even the people that were supposed to guide me, the counselors and all that, they were not great help. And so I've always felt in my life that I'm learning as I go. And with that as well, kind of like a little bit behind. So having this big accomplishment where like I could decide to go wherever. And my parents are like, no, go to the Napa Community College. It was like, yeah, like straight up. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I'm really proud that like 17-year-old me, 18-year-old me was like, heck no, I don't know what to expect. And honestly, it didn't even really feel scary. I was just so ready to leave. I mean, we were in a tiny house, 6 of us, under 1,000 square feet. And it felt suffocating. And I really just needed to discover who I was, without all the pressures of, being the eldest daughter, all the responsibilities as well. Because my dad is an alcoholic, again, being the oldest, having to translate, for my parents, taking care of my sisters. Like I was tired and I wanted to have life, like experience life for myself, not like, okay, tengo que cuidar a mis hermanas, or like my mom doesn't drive and, be the chauffeur of my family as well while my dad was at work. And all these other responsibilities in addition to just like being a student, being a young adult, having my own part-time job, like all of that was like, what would it be like if I had my own space? Not that I had my own room because I had a roommate, but just being away where I can really just think about myself and what I needed that day and what I wanted to do, and also not ask permission. Like I was so ready to experience that.
Totally.
And so, yeah, I did that. And then that gave the example to my younger sisters as well, right? Where like right after graduating, they also went away to college. One of them, like my youngest two sisters, they're fraternal twins.
Wow.
And one of them ended up going to Maine, to Bowdoin University.
Al otro
Like
lado, she was like, bye.
she's like, heck yeah, me voy lo más lejos que pueda. Yeah, so I'm grateful and I'm proud that I was able to be courageous enough to just take the leap and really honor what I needed at that time. Mm-hmm.
And something that I think a lot of people might resonate with, I mean, I experienced, is this dichotomy of there's a part of you that knows she deserves the freedom and the, o sea, el poder irte and do what you want. And at the same time, the guilt of, am I leaving my people behind? How did you navigate that?
Yeah. I mean, growing up Catholic, I had a lot of guilt.
That Catholic guilt.
So much Catholic guilt. But also, that pressure of, I think because I was away from home and my parents didn't know, am I alive? Am I this and that? Like todos los días tenía que llamar a la casa, right? Like every single day. And also, like my mom and I, we've had an interesting relationship where there's been a lot of tension. Like I have a lot of love and respect because I recognize all the hardships that she has navigated. But then also at the same time, from how she has decided to live her life, I made a lot of strong declarations from the time that I was a child of like, I am not going to be dependent on a man. I am not like, I'm going to learn how to drive. I'm, like all these things that would allow me to be free. So there is that huge drive to basically, without me knowing, like being a cycle breaker.
Yes.
Right. Pero at the same time, then that pressure, as you're saying, of any time that I would either go home or just call back to the house, it's like, yeah, like being made, like feeling like, oh, if I was there, it would be easier for them.
Oh, yes.
Right. It's like, okay, like, let me go back to help them with this. All of that. And even then they would tell me, well, okay, fuiste a la universidad, like you decided to go to UC Berkeley, but why don't you just commute?
Una hora cada vez.
Yeah, and that's with no traffic. And there were some people that I knew from school, like from Napa, that were doing that. So they're like, pues te puedes ir con Antonio. And I'm like, no. And again, I'm so proud of 19-year-old self, 20-year-old self that knew that was like a slippery slope, right? If I fell into that pressure and that guilt of going home and just driving back and forth, like that was going to be a completely different experience for me. And again, I was just like ready to expand, to learn, to grow, to expose myself to other ways of thinking, behaving. And I couldn't risk what it would do if I were to go back home. And also I kind of made a promise to myself unknowingly, like, I'm never going back. And so I didn't. Like after I graduated, that's when I moved to LA without knowing anyone, without even a job. Like I was ballsy and I'm just like, me voy.
Adios.
And again, mi familia, again, my parents were like, ¿Cómo que te vas a ir hasta Los Angeles? ¿Qué vas a hacer? You don't have a job. Like, again, it was always, they would present us like, be close to us so that we could help you. And I'm like, help me how? It's not like you have extra money to like pay for stuff, or is it really you helping me or is it me helping you guys? Right.
Right.
And so again, like I left and it's been the journey, but with that as well, it's like I gave the example to my siblings, like, go wherever you want to go. And so they've done the same, where they didn't go back to Napa. Like, they've all been out of the house since we left for college, which is, I think, very rare, especially for a lot of Latinas.
Big time,
Yeah.
especially for women.
For women.
Are your parents still in Napa?
They're not. So in 2020, right when the pandemic was happening, they ended up moving in with one of the twins who lives like in Monterey County because she started having kids.
Okay.
So they left to help take care of her kids. But I was so angry. I'm like, wait, you guys are leaving Napa? Like, that's a place where people dream of
Now.
retiring. And it was a really nice break for me, being in the intensity of LA and just having, my childhood home where I could rest and feel then taken care of at that point.
Ooh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So it flipped eventually.
It did. And I think that started when I embarked on my healing journey, where I started to reconcile. Like, first, I started with therapy and becoming aware and learning how growing up in an environment with an alcoholic parent, what that does to you. The perfectionism, the fear, the constant hypervigilance, basically just nervous system on high alert all the time.
All the time.
I wasn't aware of that. I've always been someone who's very busy. I do a lot. But I found it really interesting where there was one moment that I'm never going to forget, where I was at one of my sister's houses and we woke up in the morning and it was dead silent. No TV on, no radio. And I started to panic. I could not be in the silence.
Yes.
So much so that I got up and turned on the radio just to have some type of stimulation.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing where I'm like, whoa, okay, there's something here. Like, why am I in peace feeling unsafe?
Yes.
Like my body, my nervous system feeling unsafe. And so, yeah, I mean, I've done so many years at this point of consistent healing, which led me to the work that I'm doing now. But in that, the forgiveness, in the connecting with my inner child, in the regulating the nervous system, I had been able to then go back to Napa and be taken care of, in the sense where, like, mi mamá me cocinaba, right? It's like, ¿qué quieres comer? And so she would cook for me. There were still things that I would go back and help them with, like read all the paperwork and call the doctors and, all the stuff that they have a hard time with. But it felt different. There wasn't the same resentment that I had when I was younger, where it was like, no, like, I do want to help and this is how I can help them, but also I'm recognizing how I'm receiving from them.
Yes.
And so that was really beautiful.
I think there's a lot of power with first gens, eldest daughters, when we choose to reconcile that we can be held.
Yeah.
Because there's this narrative of we grew up like translating and doing all the things and blah, blah, blah.
Parentified.
Yeah, all the time. And I think there's a lot of power when we deliberately, consciously choose to be held. And what you shared, it happened to me when I moved to this house, actually. Because I used to live in the city. So right now I'm in the suburbs. And I used to live in the city, like pretty much downtown San Diego, where like I used to live right under the path of the airplanes and people were walking on my street all the time. And so there was always stuff. The first time we moved here, it's the suburbs, right? So like I live in a street, like, it's not a main street.
Yeah.
I could not sleep the first night because there was no sounds.
Right.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And so knowing what we know, I was like, wait, why is your nervous system like uncomfortable with being like at peace? So we did some work there. But I think this idea concept of being held is something that there's a lot of opportunity to explore, to remove the narrative of we've been parentified for so long and like, oh, poor us. Like, no, you can now go back and allow your mom to cook for you. And she loves that,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just honor that.
I think it's so healing and empowering when we are able to recognize the ways that people want to and are and have been expressing their love to us, which may
Yes.
not be our own love language, right? So, like for my mom, it's acts of service, and then also some words of affirmations. But that really helps, and it creates just a different dynamic interaction where it's like, okay, I see you wanting me to go home with like a freezer full of food or like a cooler
Yes.
full of food, right?
Ritacate.
See, like the way that you are telling me, I love you so much and I miss you,
Yes.
versus, I don't know, being annoyed that I have to drive like 7 hours to get to them and that they never come visit me. And that
Yes.
even while I'm there, again, it's like, mija, puedes leer este papel y qué dice esta carta, right? Where it's like, okay, yeah, let me help you with that. But I have also set a lot of boundaries where there's certain things that I no longer want to be responsible for. And I don't want to infantilize my parents. And so I'm like, no, you can take care of that. But what ended up happening was that once I created that space for them to hopefully step into and like be the brave adults that they are, that came to this foreign country without anything, right?
Yes.
Where it's like, wait, you are afraid to do that? Yeah, you did this other massive thing. All right. What ended up happening in my family is that other sister stepped into the role that I was playing. And so at the beginning, and this is still when I'm like deep in my healing, I was angry. I'm like, wait, no, you guys are like
It's me.
being codependent again.
Right.
No, more than anything, it's like, no, that's not the point. Like I'm stepping back so that they can like show up for themselves, so that they, and then here you are again, filling in and doing things that they are capable of doing. And then I just had to get to a place where I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Again, let her, if that's what she wants to do. But if she's also doing it with resentment, that's her journey and her process to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I can still have my boundaries. I can still help when I want to, and I can receive their love.
Yes.
And it's been incredible. Yeah.
Totally.
Just for me, like to have that inner peace, right? It's like to have the interactions, like even recently, where I've noticed a big shift in how I feel around my mom, where she hasn't done any therapy or any healing work, right? It's like su iglesia y su rosario todos los días,
Sí, claro.
and that's her medicine. But there's just more acceptance, I think, in my part. And it's like, again, just recognize like, okay, that's the way she is. But am I going to let it steal my own peace? And for what? For what?
Right.
And it's like, no, I still might say something, pero ya, and it's been really, really powerful to experience that this year as well.
Totally. I agree. I think having the awareness of also the fact that our parents don't have all the tools that we do,
Yeah.
and not expecting them to come through with like all of the work that we've done. Like they have the prayer and the rosario.
See?
Like,
Yeah. And they see me, right? So, and I'm always like, quieren hacer esto, like mediten, or sending them to my healers. And my mom doesn't want to. And again,
yep.
that's her life journey in this lifetime. And I can't make it wrong. Like,
Right. Yes.
that's the way she wants to experience it. Okay. But
Totally.
I can change for myself.
And that saves so much inner peace 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Because I see a lot of people like complaining and like, oh my gosh, my parents are doing this again, or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and?
Yeah. It's called patterns.
Right.
It's called nervous system wiring. It's a subconscious mind. It's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
You should be surprised. There's, if things are all of a sudden different, it's like, whoa, what is going on?
And also the invitation to be like, well, what is that activating within you, which is what you have control of, what you can change, what you can explore, instead of like pushing blame on the other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ana. So you leave school, back to your story. You leave school, you move to LA. How does healing find you?
Yeah. So when I moved to LA, I had a degree in communications and Spanish literature. And so I started working in publicity. Then I always wanted to be a TV host. So I was dabbling in that, like auditioning. I ended up performing or acting in a ton, like over 100 commercials. So
Nice.
I ended up becoming very successful in that.
Commercials are great.
Yeah,
I
great
did
money.
And I was like, bro,
Easy.
commercials is where it's at.
I loved it. And yeah, it was great training. It was fun. My inner child liked being in front of the camera. And so it's like, yay. And then I was married, or like my partner, I met him like right when I moved to LA, and beautiful man, but I didn't recognize that basically I manifested my father. Not that this person is a alcoholic, but a lot of mental health issues as well. And here I was trying to save him.
Mm-hmm. He became your project?
Yes, I had a project. And then there was a lot of tension. Like my coping mechanisms that kept me alive, that got me to the place where I was now creating problems. And then physically for myself, my body started, I didn't even know that I had anxiety basically my whole life. It's like I would have belly aches and, grind my teeth and just like random stuff that would happen. And in my 20s, the physical sensations became more extreme, where I started to have nervous tics, hypervigilant, constant catastrophic thoughts, where I would leave my house and I thought, oh my God, I left the stove on. And literally I would drive back because I didn't trust. In LA.
Oh.
Yeah, it got bad. And then I started sleepwalking, I was stressed out unconsciously. I was not aware of it. So my partner at the time started to reflect. He's like, your upbringing, that was really stressful, not just stressful, but traumatic. You should probably do some therapy for that. So that's when I started therapy. And I did a very specific type called intensive short-term dynamic psychotherapy, which is very much body informed as well. Like she would ask me questions and then check in with my body. Like, what does your body want to do when you're thinking about that memory? And so that was fascinating. And during that time, it's so incredible how the universe, like once you make the decision, like, yeah, I do want to heal, or I'm curious about this, people just come to you, whether it's healers, mentors, like coaches, just support. And so during that time, I think this is, I don't know, maybe 16 years ago or something like that, all these incredible modalities I was coming across and experiencing. And so that with the therapy just really accelerated my growth and healing. But then that created a drift in my relationship. And so where we ended up separating, because I'm like, I'm like, oh, I've been trying to save you this whole time and I don't want that role anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a savior. I know, I'm now realizing you can't save people. They got to do their own work.
Yes.
But then with that, I discovered breathwork. And that was a modality where it helped my body release the anxiety, the depression I was feeling, the years of trauma, even I would say like ancestral tension that I was carrying. It was incredible. I was blown away how changing how I was breathing, I could have such a physical release, manifestation, crying, hands cramping, like tension in the jaw, like so much, where I fell in love with this. I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. And so I was kind of at a point where my industry in acting was changing, where there weren't as many jobs anymore. And, now it was more streaming. And so the way that you got paid was changing. And so I could see, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a living off of this for how much longer, but also it's just not feeling as aligned anymore now that I'm exploring so many modalities and empowerment and personal development. So I decided to get certified in breathwork. And listen, I wasn't planning on making it into a business. It was just like, this is such a cool practice that I want to share with my acting friends and my family. So it just started with that, where I got certified, and literally a week later, I held my first breathwork circle.
Así.
Así, estoy aventada. I'm like, there's no wasting time. Like, let's just freaking do it already.
Let's go.
So there were 4 of them. It was so sweet. It was my sister and her friend, and then 2 acting friends. And it was incredible. And just from that, it just started to grow on its own. And I'm so grateful for that path because it changed my career, right? Because I really did think that I'm like, well, commercials are fun and you have, it's just like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Until it wasn't.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, so I was able to channel the part of me that has always loved helping people and being of service and being a really good listener to a career where now I'm not trying to change anyone. Now people are voluntarily coming to me for support. So that shift as well, where before maybe it was unhealthy or also just coming from a place of trauma and panic. Now it was coming from a place like, no, this is what I love to do. And it's been so rewarding to be able to channel these gifts that my upbringing created within me to now share in a healthy way.
I love that.
Where there are boundaries, where again, people are coming on their own. And it's been incredible. So I've been doing this now, the breath work, the coaching, the healing work for 10 years.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's
it goes
awesome.
by so fast.
Fast.
It's incredible.
I feel like we started at the same. Café con Pam turned 9
Sí,
this year.
Felicidades.
Sí. So I feel like we're on a similar path. Okay, let's take a quick coffee break, which I'm about to finish my coffee, and then we'll come back to your story.
Sounds good.
Sabrosura pa' ti que que.
Ana, do you drink coffee?
I do once in a while, like a cappuccino.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your daily ritual?
Bone broth with lemon.
Con limón?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I make my own bone broth. Like,
I mean, I think that's the best.
Patas de gallina, like all the carcasses. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't compare homemade broth to
Totally.
all the collagen in it. Yeah, it's really great for your belly. So
that's your first drink in the morning.
That's my very first drink in the morning. And then usually I have like a client call or something, and then I try to eat within the next 90 minutes. Protein, like right now I'm like eggs and arugula and cottage cheese and stuff. Yeah, I'm on a protocol right now to help heal my gut. So
the gut thing, I'm with you.
The coffee is like, I notice like if because right now I'm living in a small mountain town. So whenever I'm in LA, definitely go to like my favorite coffee shops, and I love a cappuccino and a croissant. But if I don't have something ahead of, like before I drink that, my body just feels, it's not that it's jittery, but like
como tense.
Something. Yeah. It just like activates a feeling that I'm like, I don't really like that. So let me drink this first.
I'm with you. I used to drink coffee first thing in the morning, but same with the gut.
Yeah.
I am working on my histamine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it?
Yeah. Triggers, allergens.
Yeah. Histamine triggers. It's quite fun to age and to be a woman.
Yeah. Our body's constantly talking to us, but
I know.
At least we're listening and we're doing everything we can to support it, because we could easily not.
I mean, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So once in a while you do your cappuccino, usually bone broth is your morning brew. Yeah. I do tea in the morning and then breakfast and then coffee. And that has made a difference also in how my body feels.
Yeah. Because
how I could describe it, if I just have coffee first thing in the morning, it's like there's a hole in my body. It's like there's an emptiness. And so if I eat, I get, and like it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into the science of it, but I'm drinking today. It's my regular mushroom coffee, but I added, of course, all the things, gnocchi, creatine and collagen.
Yeah.
and lion's mane and L-theanine. It helps with my
Perfect.
brain so I
I
can stay
love
focused with this ADHD life.
Qué rico.
I know. And so it's like my late morning type of drink. And I just actually, right before we jumped, I've been on like back-to-back calls, but I just got some samples of a coffee. But next time I'll talk about it. We'll see.
That's exciting.
Yeah. But let's go back to the show. If you've started making your cafecitos at home to get on with that morning routine and build the habit of saving money, it could be a good strategy. Pero there might be an easier way to save. Did you know that if you open a new savings builder account at BMO, you can earn a $5 reward every month you grow your balance by $200 or more during the first year? Learn more about how BMO can help you grow your savings by visiting bmo.com/save. bmo.com/save. Conditions apply. Accounts provided in the United States by BMO Bank and a member FDIC. Let's talk about something we all deserve: financial empowerment. Whether you're tackling debt, planning for retirement, or starting that dream business, navigating your finances can feel overwhelming. But it doesn't have to be, thanks to Savvy Ladies. Savvy Ladies is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping women like you take control of your financial future. They offer free resources, webinars, and my favorite, a free financial helpline where you can connect one-on-one with trusted financial experts. And yes, it's completely free. Whether you're just starting your financial journey or need guidance on a specific challenge, Savvy Ladies is here to provide quality and trusted advice you can count on. So why wait? Visit savvyladies.org today and connect with the financial helpline to get the personalized support you deserve. Your journey to financial independence starts here. That is savvyladies.org. Your path to financial freedom can start today. Bueno, entonces Breathwork found you.
Yeah, it definitely did.
And it just like became this thing. You started offering it. Was there ever fear of like, what am I doing?
No. No. I'm just thinking like, when am I afraid? Being an actor really trained me to have no safety net. I never knew when I was going to work next. Money was up and down. So I had to lean into self-trust. And that really trained me to be an entrepreneur, because the same, like I can have all the intentions for my launches, for whatever. And if I don't get the results that I'm hoping to get, I also know I'm like, you know what? I'll figure it out. And so I think with that, and then also just thinking right now, like my parents, I mean, they did have a job, but they also had side hustles, if you will.
Yes.
And so it's like, el dinero siempre está allí. Like you can always like figure out how to make money.
Yes.
Right? Even if it's not a lot, but I always knew like, I know how to at least support myself. So that has helped in terms of starting new things, things that I don't know, and just giving it a try. And I go all in too. Like I don't half-ass. It's like, if I'm going to do something, like, yeah, let me try it. Let me put everything I can into it and give it all. And then when I don't, if there's ever a time where I'm not giving it all, then I own that too, right? Where it's like, okay, I can't blame anything else besides like, I'm recognizing I didn't give 100% and I'm not making it wrong, but just own my part. So yeah, it's like coming back to what am I in control of and what am I not? And let's just try things, but also notice what's happening.
Yes.
Talk to people, right? Like do market research. What are
Yes.
trends? Where's the economy going? Not that we can necessarily predict, but don't be in denial. And again, I think with the acting, tying it back in, I could see that the market was starting to change and how commercials have not disappeared, but I have a lot of friends who were killing it who haven't booked in like 3 years. And I did not want to wait until that was like, I never want to be in a state where then there's nothing. And then I'm trying to create from that place, which makes it that much, it just adds way too much pressure.
Totally.
On making that thing, whether it's your own business or even finding a new job, like so much pressure to like bring in the money. So that's always been my thing too. Even when I started to do my breathwork sessions and my circles, I always had some other side gigs just to bring in extra money. I was dog sitting, I was working in casting, obviously still working in commercials, but yeah, there was always that. So that also has helped my nervous system to feel, more regulated and not be in a place of scarcity or fear, panic of like, oh my God, this has to work. And rather just like, I'm doing this because I really want to help people.
Totally.
And it also brings me so much joy.
Yes, I love that. Okay. I think something that we could talk about is the fine line between intuition and what you should like. There is this inner knowing, this inner call, and also doing market, like the practicality of life.
Yeah.
How do you balance the two?
Yeah. So, in order for you to be able to listen to that voice, I think also requires some healing, because if not, there's like everybody else's voice in your head, right? Whether it's like your familia who's pressuring you, or there's the expectation, whether it's said out loud or not, of what your life should be like, how you should experience this, right? So there's that. And then also just society and everything else, maybe partner, whatever. So it's being able to quiet, but also like know what's yours and what's not. And that's definitely a skill. We are all born with it. I think, children, we're just like connected to it. And then as we grow, it gets impacted. And so being able, whether it is through meditating, whether it's through being out in nature, just being really present and listening, sensing, not ignoring those nudges. There's constant signs, whether within yourself or out in the world, that I believe are guiding us. And we can choose to ignore it because of fear, because of other people, or you become curious. And I love the curiosity option, where again, I don't have to, like, this interests me. And I did have that tension where I'm like, oh my gosh, am I really going to start something new where I just spent like 15 years in acting, and
Right.
did I just like waste my life? And now in hindsight, I'm so grateful for all of that training, because again, it's helped me so much in being an entrepreneur. Even some of the other opportunities, like the way that I was working as an actress no longer felt aligned, but I still love it, right? So then I set the intention like, well, I don't want to go through the process of auditioning. Now I just want brands to come to me. And that's what has happened, right? Like brands that I'm aligned to, who have had me come and record some meditations for them or do some, videos where it combines my work and I'm still sharing my likeness to promote a brand. And so that's been really incredible. But yeah, it starts with the intuition, and then I'm someone who is a risk taker, but I'm a calculated risk taker again, right? Where it's like, okay, what's the market like? I have this passion, but just because you have a passion doesn't mean that you're going to make money off of it.
Right.
And that's actually something that I help a lot of solid entrepreneurs right now, because there's so many people out there who are amazing healers, coaches, but are terrible at business. Like they don't, they hate selling, they hate putting themselves out there, the visibility. And so I also help people heal and feel more comfortable with that, but also get really practical and have like a strategy, a plan And so with that, I have evolved my business in the last 10 years where it's like, okay, what are people resonating towards? What's more impactful, not just for my clients, but for how I want to live my life too, right? Where it's like, how can I still be of service, but not be working all the time? And even now with AI and just like how things are changing, it's like, okay, well, what are people really craving? And so, in-person experiences, which I mean, I've been doing this whole time, but one of my goals for next year, for 2026, is to do even more in-person, like community connection, whether it's in retreats or day events or just something where humans are connecting with each other. In this day and age where we have our phones and we think we're connected all the time with people,
Yes.
but then we're the people feel like the most loneliest out of like all times and are struggling with depression and anxiety and overwhelm because there isn't that true human connection. And so whatever you're looking or thinking about doing, I highly recommend get really honest and clear with what would you like to do, what lights you up, or not even that, but like if we're talking about relationships or even like your job, like is this still aligned?
Yes.
And then what next steps can you take in a way that isn't going to spiral you, that isn't going to overwhelm your nervous system? Just a little baby step so that you can start to get some proof, some evidence that, okay, this can be safe doing this thing, or I enjoy it, or actually realize I don't like doing it after all. Right? Because when we're just in our head, we just our mind is so creative, it comes up with the worst case scenario, or then it also thinks it's going to be amazing, and we don't realize what it actually is going to require to make it become alive.
Yeah.
And for it to, if you're thinking about, supporting you financially, having it be a business, like that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing.
But it's so rewarding. I mean, I'm sure you can relate. Being an entrepreneur is like its own spiritual journey.
Oh my, that was going to be my next question. Do you agree that
Oh my God, for
starting a
sure.
business, I tell this to people, if you want to do inner child work and heal yourself,
Yeah.
start a business.
Yeah. Experiencing rejection.
Yes.
Again, like the visibility, like being able, putting into practice using your voice.
Yes.
Authentically, not just
Your
because
truth.
if you're just repeating what you're hearing, what you think you should say, people are not going to connect with that. But again, to your point, your inner child or your inner teen or some inner part of you needs to feel safe and worthy enough of sharing your truth. So absolutely.
It's a journey for sure. So, Ana, tell us all the places and spaces where we can find you.
Yeah, I'm very active on Instagram, so you can find me there, Ana Lilia. If you Google my name or search for my name and then Breathwork, I should come up. And then yeah, I have a podcast in Substack, Breathe More, same name, but I'm taking a little break. But I am going to like revamp it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in a different way and use it in a different type of way. I kind of want to do what you do, which is interview style and just connect more. Again, share stories instead of more of a teaching, which is how I was doing it. So yeah, you can find just also search Breathe More podcast or Substack, and I'm there.
We'll have all the links in the show notes.
Yay!
I do think something really powerful is given, like what you mentioned, the curiosity aspect is giving yourself permission to be curious, asking yourself, what do you want? Bring in that inner voice while also grounding yourself in the reality of what is happening. Because I also see a lot of incredible people with magical powers just follow one, which is awesome. And there is no groundedness to it. It's like, it's a derooted type of concept that's just flying and frolicking through the world without being anchored. And so I think it's really powerful what you shared of do follow what you want, be curious about it, and also look at what the environment is giving you. Where are you being called to do? Because the other thing also is because we were raised by boomers. You know, the idea of you have a job forever and you get your
That's where
pension
you
and your
retire. Yeah.
retirement. Yeah. Then millennials and younger, I think Gen Z, they've already like broken the mold in so many ways, but a lot of us millennials, we are still in this internal battle of leaving things that we've invested. It's like sunk cost fallacy, you know,
Right.
like you mentioned, like, am I leaving this career that I've built
Mhm.
for this new thing? And 100%, I can tell you, like, my past lives, so many of them that I've had, have absolutely informed the way that I show up now.
Yeah.
And it's the other thing that's really cool is they also help me help clients because I
Mhm.
have lived experience.
Absolutely.
And so don't discount your current like built career or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just view it as a foundational block, right, of your whole life. And the economy is changing, y'all, like the work environment. So that corporate secure job that you're thinking, really start thinking about how you can make yourself stand out in the age of AI. You know, what
Mhm.
new skills, all of that. Like, don't, my biggest thing is like, don't wait for things, for someone else to decide the change for you.
Yes.
Start planting seeds, start exploring, even a side hustle, just like something that's yours that you feel that you have more control over.
I'm a big fan of the side hustle,
Right? It's so good.
especially because I work with a lot of business owners, and it's either like high level CEOs
Mhm.
or 9 to 5ers who want to leave their 9 to 5, high achieving, and and I'm always encouraging people keep both if you can,
Yeah. Oh,
because
totally.
you need the stability, the foundation of your paycheck.
Yeah. Let that invest in what you're wanting to
Exactly.
create.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because entrepreneurship has been so glorified for so long that I
Mhm.
think people think that I'm just gonna like start this and it's gonna, no, not everyone is Gary Vee. You know, like not everyone has the reach, the visibility wounds,
Yeah.
the like we all carry our own inner narratives
Mhm.
that need to be worked through with spaciousness, which is
Yeah.
I think what also breathwork allows us to do.
Mhm. Yeah.
What's next for you, Anna?
So 2026, I want, so not want, I am creating, manifesting, yeah, a bigger life. So public speaking, like I want to be on stages, sharing my story. I want to be creating more really healing, transformative, life-changing experiences. So I always host retreats, but I want to do more than just 2 a year, and I want to make them international. So for 26, I'm
Let's
planning on doing
go.
Mexico.
Where?
I want to do it in Tepoztlan.
Okay. Uy, me encanta Tepoztlán. Pueblo
Sí,
mágico. Buenísimo.
sí, Pueblo Mágico, like so much healing there. So that's in the works. And then February 28th, I'm hosting a big manifestation live event called Dream Bigger in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be different activations and inspirational. And it's going to be a dedication to our inner child.
Yes.
You know, the part of us that was a dreamer, that had these goals, and independent of what our upbringing was, like for me, I didn't get a lot of support. I had big dreams, and my parents were like, there's no way you're ever going to go to Australia, right? Like, we're poor.
Yes.
What are you talking about? And I haven't gone, but I've gone to New Zealand. So close
Mm.
enough, right? But like, I want it to be a celebration for that part of us who is a dreamer and doesn't want to give up. And so I'm excited about that. So a lot of that community gatherings in real life.
Love that. How exciting. Last few questions.
Yeah.
Do you have a remedio you want to share with us?
Besides my breath.
Mm.
Truly, like Remedio, like seriously, it's so beautiful to see how my body now unconsciously knows how to regulate. When I'm stuck in traffic, driving to LA, where, you know, whatever, I will become present, and I'll notice that I'll start to do diaphragmatic breathing without
Mm-hmm.
even being conscious of it. And as you just said, our breath creates spaciousness within
Yes.
ourself, our mind, you know, the quiet, the space to think creatively, to create
Mm-hmm.
the space within ourselves for our peace. And it's just incredible. So that is my Remedio that I always go to.
Love that. What question did your inner child wonder that you can answer now?
I think the traveling.
Mm.
So my dad, one of his side jobs was doing the yards of very wealthy people in Sonoma County and Napa County. And it was amazing to go to these mansions and see a different world. And there was one family that gifted us National Geographic magazines. That opened up my world, that there's more than just Napa.
Love that.
And so I wondered, would we be able to go see the animals in Africa? Would I be able to go to Australia? And I've done a lot of traveling. And so, yes, we have.
I love that.
Yeah.
Last question. How do you connect to your main character energy? Do you have a routine, a ritual, an affirmation, a totem, something that you bring in when it's time to bring in the main character in your life?
What I do a lot of is self-celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Like out loud. I will be having conversations with people and I will say, you know what? I am so proud of that I did X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
And that has been really important because I didn't get that validation or affirmation from my parents. I was confused. I didn't know if they were proud of me
Mm-hmm.
because they never vocalized it and I got more criticism than praise.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's typical.
yeah, right. And then as women, I think we're just conditioned to like minimize, right? And be humble.
Yes. Calladita culture at its finest.
Yeah. And so I have gotten in the habit where not only do I do that for myself, where I'm like, I am celebrating, like I threw myself a birthday party last night, right? It's like, I'm not waiting for other people to give me the praise because I am so
Mm.
proud of myself. And then with that, I reflect back to other people. Like I straight up say all the time, you know what? I celebrate you for X, Y, and Z. And that energy, I mean, I want all of you to practice it at home. Like, what
Yes.
are you proud of? Like, what are you celebrating for yourself? What are you going to acknowledge? And that changes your energy. It changes how you show up in a room, how you speak. And that helps me embody my main character energy all the time.
Mm. Yes, yes, yes. I'm with it. Well, Ana Lilia, thank you so much for coming to Café con Pam.
You're so
Would love to
welcome.
have you
Thank
back
you.
another time.
I would love
We
that.
can maybe talk about, I don't know, business,
So much
life,
more. Yeah.
intuition, so many topics. But thank you so much for your work, for showing up for yourself, for others, for all that you do. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate you.
Bueno, listeners, that was my entrevista with Ana Lilia. I'm still thinking about what she said about self-celebration, about literally saying out loud, I am so proud of myself for X, Y, and Z. Because that's the work, isn't it? Learning to be your own biggest cheerleader when we grew up with more criticism than praise, when we were conditioned to minimize ourselves, to be humble, to not take up space. And that is calladita culture at its finest. You all know this. Another thing that I really love is how Ana Lilia was so courageous, in her teens, she was like, I'm leaving. And getting accepted to school despite parents saying, just stay here. Just stay here in our town. So you are comfortable, or you keep us comfortable, or everyone's comfortable. And even though she had no roadmap, even though she was learning as she was going, even though she felt a little behind, she trusted herself enough to leave. That's her energy right there. And then she became the model for her sisters, so they could also do the same. And that is the ripple effect of choosing yourself. And también, I want to name what she shared about her dad's alcoholism, about translating for her parents, about taking care of her sisters while also being a student, with her own part time job, about wanting her own space, just to think about what she needed that moment. Because so many of us are carrying that. So many of us are the ones who stepped up, are the ones who are often holding it together, are the ones who do it and make it look effortless. Pero we're tired and we've been tired. And the lesson that Anna is teaching us is that Our breath is free and accessible. It's a tool that's with us at all times. And it can help us come back to ourselves. It can create that space we've been craving. It can remind our body that we are in some way safe. I really love her honesty and all of the teachings that she shared with us. And I hope you resonate with this episode. One thing I will say, if you listen as we drop the episode, I am going to be at her event, Dream Bigger, on February 28th, 2026. So if you're listening to this episode before that, I hope you can make it. I'm going to add the link to the show notes so you can sign up. If you listen as we are here, as we're dropping the episode or within a specific time frame, you get access to early bird. This is going to be in LA, so yours truly is coming to you to Los Angeles, and I hope you can make it. I can't wait to see you there. We're going to be tapping. Of course, I'm going to facilitate a tapping session at her event, and it's something I don't know what number of Dream Bigger this is, but this is not the first one. So she's done it a couple of times already. Super successful event. I can't wait to be I'm so honored to be a part of this, and I hope to see you there. So, if this episode resonated with you, please share it with your fellow primas, Latinas, colleagues, fellow eldest daughters, fellow high achieving friends who are running on empty, especially now in these times, anyone who needs permission to breathe, to rest, to celebrate themselves out loud. Tag us both on all the socials. Check out all the links that we'll have in the show notes so that you can connect with her if you're in LA. I will see you there at Dream Bigger. It's a dedication to our inner child, to the dreamer in us who refuses to give up. Y bueno, I'm excited. Como siempre, thank you so much for being here. Nos vemos la próxima semanita y bueno, sigue brillando. Café con Pam is created con mucho amor by our small but mighty team. Content production by Nancy Jaimes. Podcast management by Maru Linardi. Social media and marketing by Brenda Figueroa. And me, your host, Pam Covarrubias. To keep the cafecito brewing and the healing flowing, join the Supporters Club for only $5 a month and access early episodes, behind-the-scenes vibes, and exclusive minisodes you won't hear anywhere else. Screenshot this episode and tag me and share what resonated. I love seeing your takeaways. Follow on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's keep the conversation going with us on social media at Café con Pan Podcast because your voice always matters there. We love being on Instagram and Facebook. Gracias for listening to Café con Pan, a Spread Ideas Move People production. For more episodes, guest info, or resources, visit cafeconpam.com. And if you're healing from calladita culture and don't know where to start, you can take the quiz. cafeconpam.com/quiz for Tia Wisdom and cariño just for you.
Sabrosura pa' ti que